Hi ladies, this is Carla. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you these adorable gift card holders. I have made these for the last 3 years, and this is one of the styles that I have made, and I've had very good luck at my craft fairs with those. And I make mine with my Cricut maker, and I can go into that and look it up, and then I just cut it out and put it together and then decorate it. But I know many of you out there may not have a Cricut maker, so what I've been trying to do for the last couple of days is kind of get the measurements down and create a template so you could make this gift card holder for yourself. It's very appealing to the buyer because it has so many different parts. I'm going to take one apart right here and show you. Now, you'll notice this one is a little larger than this one. This one is exactly from the Cricut maker, and this one I went into my Cricut maker and kind of downsized it a little bit. And so I can make either one. The template I'm going to give you is for the larger one. So let me show you that one. So what you do is you remove this. It's like an acetate belly band, so it's kind of see-through. You have a top that you remove. Then inside this little pocket, you have the little card, which opens up, and you have the place for your gift card. It is so cute. I'm going to show you another one just to show you different ways that you can decorate and embellish them. And I'll lay this one aside. Okay, here's one that I had downsized. Again, you just remove the belly band, take off the top. I rounded the corners and rounded the corners on there. You open it up, and again you decorate the inside any way you want, and here's a little pocket for the gift card. And they seem to be really popular because, you know, when you give a gift card, you want the recipient to feel like they're getting something besides just a gift card. And these are fun, and you know, you get to open them like a small little present. And I just think they're a great idea. So I'm going to walk you through this. And like I said, today we're just going to create a template. So to do that, I'm going to grab kind of a work mat, scoreboard, paper trimmer. You'll need a corner rounder and a pencil and a pair of scissors. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make the top. You're going to need, I've got like 3 sheets here. I don't know, you may need 3 or 4 sheets, depends. And it's the heavyweight cardstock to make our template. So we're going to take this, and I over here have created the top. So I'm going to show that to you. First thing you're going to do is you're going to cut a piece of paper that is 4 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. So that's what we're going to do first. So I'm going to get my paper, and I'm going to cut it 4 3/4. So I'm going to come over here. You see that? Okay, bring that down. 4 3/4. Put that right here. Okay, I'll lay that down. I'm just gonna cut this all the way. I'll move this out of the way. And then after we have 4 3/4, we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. There we go. these out of the way. I'm going to double check that. Make sure we've measured correctly. Okay, we've got 4 and 3/4 by 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Now what we need is our scoring tool. And what you're going to do next is on the 4 3/4 side. Let me put this up. 4 3/4 side. First, you're going to score it at 3/8 right here. And then you're going to move over and score it at 4 3/8. After you have that scored, you're going to score 2 1/8. Turn it this way. And you're going to score it down the center at 2 1/8. Okay, now when we have that completed, you're going to turn it up where you have your score lines on the side. Okay, right here, I want you to cut over to the score line. Turn it over and again cut to the score line. And we're going to cut this section out totally away. And the same thing on this side, cut it totally away. And then where you have these little squared ends, you're just going to turn it and just cut a little wedge out, just a little one. Same thing on this side. Just cut out a little wedge. Okay. Now all you need to do is in the center where we scored it, you want to fold that. Take some kind of a burnishing tool and burnish that. Then you want to fold in your little flaps. Then you're going to need some glue. I prefer to use glue rather than the double-sided tape. It just, I know it's going to hold. I've used double-sided tape before, or a tape runner, and it hasn't always held up very well, so I know this glue will hold up. So after you get that glued, all you do then is simply flip this over, and you want to hold it and let it stick together there. You don't want it to glue on the inside. And there you've got your top. So we're going to lay that aside. And the next thing we're going to cut is a piece of paper. This will be the card bottom. Okay, the card bottom looks like this. This will be the card bottom. And if you had one cut out, it would look like this. And as you see, when you cut it out, this one has this decorative edge, and you could always make that if you have some kind of a border die you could put on there to do that, or if you had like some type of an edge decorative punch, you could make something and cut this straight and lay that underneath, you know, to give it a decorative edge. Or what I thought you could also do is like take a scalloped or a round punch and just punch that and make it go down. But we'll talk a little more about that as we go along. Now for this section, you're going to need to cut a piece of paper that is 5.5 by 8.25. So let's do that. I'm gonna have to use another piece of paper for that. So we want this to be 8.25. So this is 8.5, so we're gonna make it 8.25. That lined up, we're gonna pull that over. So just gonna be cutting off about 1/2 inch. And then the other part of that is going to be 5.5. So we're gonna flip this way and cut it at 5.5 there. And on some of these, I noticed, you know, if it does hang over a little bit, just trim it off. I couldn't get into 1/18 of an inch, or 1/16 of an inch rather, and I think this comes out pretty well though. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna double check. This should be 8.25. 8.25 by 5.5. Okay, good. So we have this like so. And all you're going to do with this is you're going to, on one of the sides, you're going to score 1/2 of an inch. And then you're going to come over to 4 3/8. And then you're going to turn it to the 8.25 side. And you're going to score 1/2 inch. There. Now you have your scored 1/2 inch on the right side and your 1/2 inch scored along the bottom side. Now what you have is, like I said, on the other ones that were cut out, it comes down about 1 inch, and then you've got a decorative edge in there. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to measure down about 1 inch right here on that score line. Or you could go down, you know, as far as you want, but at least 1 inch, I would say, to right here. And I'm going to take my scissors then, and I'm going to cut to that dot I just made. Now, you want to cut all the way across here. And I don't cut very straight, so I've tried to do it on here, and I always cut into that, so I'm not going to do that either. So I'm just going to try to go across, because if you're going to use some other kind of decorative edge, if you're going to put a trim over that or whatever, I'm just going to try to make it over there the best I can. There you go. That's not too bad. So now your piece looks like this. You've still got your 1/2 inch score on the right and your 1/2 inch score on the bottom. So what we want to do now is, where this little square is, where these intersect, we're going to cut that little square out. Just snip it out. And now it looks like this. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to come over here, and we're going to cut right up the center score line just to the bottom score line, like so. Then we're going to come over here and cut this piece completely off. And now it looks like this. Now what you're going to do is you want to come in and just cut again a little wedge right here, a little wedge right here, and a little wedge right here. Okay, so now we look like this. Okay, all we're going to do now is we're going to fold this up, burnish it down, fold this flap in, burnish it down, and we're going to fold this center flap or score line in and that flap. Fold those over. And now we're simply going to take our glue again and glue this flap. Stick it up on there and glue this flap. Now you don't want to get so much glue on this edge right here that it oozes over and glues your pocket together, so just kind of watch that a little bit. Then you're going to take this flap, fold it over. It should go right to the edge, and if it doesn't, like I said, just, you know, trim it off. And so now push that over a little bit. I think it will go. And you can always hold it there and kind of burnish it down. And there you got your pocket. And like I said, if you want this to have a decorative edge, you could take your punch and do a decorative edge. You could take a circle punch and make it come down like this, or a scallop punch and do the same thing. And now you've got your pocket. And let's see if our top fits. This top should go right over here. Well, what I like to do though first, I would go ahead and round these corners. It really does make it a little bit easier to slide over. So let's go ahead and round those corners. And like I said, this is just your template. You may not want to be gluing yours, but I want to show you how to put it together. That way you can have this. See how that fits right over there? Isn't that nice? Okay, now we only have two things left to do, and it's pretty simple. Okay, now I'm going to make the card that is the card that slips inside this pocket. And that is simply a piece of paper that is cut 6 5/8 by 4 3/8. So we'll do that. I think I've got a piece of paper here. Let's do 4 3/8 this way. Okay, there's our 4 3/8. By 6 5/8. Right, there we go. This may have been the one that I'm not sure it came out exact. If I gave the score mark, I put 3 3/8, but if you wanted to, I would just fold it in half. Then you wouldn't have to worry about it not being exact. Okay, well, I'm going to take my little burnishing tool here. I think it's actually a scraper, but I like to use it. It works well for me. I'll take that and just kind of burnish out. And now I'm going to measure just to see what it came out to be. And it comes out to be maybe just a hair less than 3 3/8. So I would say just fold that in half. So we've got that made. Now the last thing we're going to make is the little gift card holder itself that attaches to that card. So for this, you're going to need a piece of paper that is 5 3/4 by 4 3/8. I'm not sure this is going to work. That is 4 and, let's see, we want it to be 4 3/8. Right on there. By 5 3/4. Let's see if we have enough to do this. Yes, we can get that out of this. So really, I've made this out of just 2 sheets of plain paper. If you were using a pattern paper, you know, depends on if it was directional or not. That would determine if you would need more paper than what we're using for this. Okay, 5 3/4. Okay. Now the only thing left to do is to get this one measured up. So again, you're gonna put this up to the scoring tool there. And on this side, you're gonna score it at 1/2 inch. And 3 1/8 right here. Can you see that? I'm not sure. 3 1/8 right here. And then you're going to turn it to the bottom and score another 1/2 inch. So you end up with your paper looking like this. You've got a 1/2 inch on the side score line and a 1/2 inch score line on the bottom, and then you've got a 3 1/8 over from here score line. And what we're going to do with this, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to come again to this little square right here and take that out. Cut that right out. And again, you're going to take a little wedge out here. And a little wedge out here. And you're going to cut up on this center score line on this 1/2 inch bottom section and just cut up to the score line. Then you're going to turn it so you've got your notches out here, you've got your cut here to the score line, and this section down here you're going to just again cut up to that score line and remove that piece. Now again, on this one, you're going to need to come down about 1 inch so that when you put this together like so, you're going to have this open as a place to put your gift card in. So what you want to do then, you can measure it or you can just cut down. I'm going to eyeball this one, cut down about 1 inch. Again, I'm going to cut, make sure I'm cutting the right one here. The one that you cut off the bottom section is the one you want to cut off the top. So I'm going to bring this over. And because you cut this off, you also want to come over and cut this part from your score line as well, as you can see here. So to get that about right, I'm going to go ahead and fold my section in, and I'm just going to go across like so, and then come down and cut that section out. Okay, now we're going to lay that over there. Again, I'm going to round these top edges. Oops. There we go. Oh, that's a little hard to do with this fold there. Yeah, that's better. And do this one. Again, I'm going to fold this up. Kind of burnish that. Nice and flat. The other one. This one. And you just apply your glue like before. Making sure not to let it ooze over the edge there so you don't end up gluing your pocket down, or your gift card won't go in there. Whoops. Then hold this, fold your flap over, and voila. And if you need to trim this off a little, looks like I went over that score line a little bit, we could just do that with these little scissors here. Yeah. So what you've got now, you've got your card, got your base, you've got your top, and you've got this little card, gift card holder part that's going to fit right inside here. And so I'm going to take glue and attach it. Let's come down here, kind of hold that on. Fold that over around these edges. Here's your card base. This will fit in here. Like this. And if you want to cut that down farther, you can. Like I said, on the machine, you know, it has this little design which gives you a little more room to pull this out. But if you took a scallop punch and went down in there, or a circle punch like we said, or if you have a cute little border die to cut that out with, you could do that. And then all you have left to do is add this little top on there and decorate it, and you've got a cute little gift card and a great little craft fair item. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'll probably do one more where I actually put one together with pattern paper and we'll decorate it, and that way you can see how it all fits together again with the pattern paper and this little acetate strip. This little acetate strip is 1 inch wide and 11 inches long. So if you've got a 8.5 by 11 sheet of acetate, I just take it over 1 inch and cut it all the way to the bottom. And when we decorate it in another tutorial, I'll show you how to add all this and put that on. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I said, please like and subscribe. And I hope you try this for one of your craft fair items for Christmas in July. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.